There are so many important elements in this component that each could easily warrant its own week. In order to have a smooth, efficient, effective classroom, teachers need to implement structure and schedule. Effective teachers take time at the beginning of the year to establish routines and classroom procedures. Good management leads to students assuming responsibility for the class's operation. They keep things going even without teacher supervision, and little time needs to be taken on non-instructional items. A well-run classroom is evident if students can describe the classroom procedures and if teachers can explain how students help to create and maintain procedures. Simply put, successful teaching is not possible in a chaotic environment. Good classroom management is not a substitute for high-quality instruction, but it is a prerequisite to it.
Small group instruction is a highly effective differentiating instructional strategy, widely used especially in elementary classrooms. The work involved in preparing students to operate within a small group instructional model takes time and patience. First, establish clear routines and expectations for productive collaboration. Students should understand that the routines and procedures are established to support learning. Students should know and understand the expectations for small group instruction and independent work, including material management, work completion procedures, and methods for requesting help. Taking the time to establish with the students and practice these routines will pay off with highly engaged learners. Next, work on building stamina. Small group instruction, when implemented effectively, requires students to work independently when not with the teacher. The stamina for this type of independent work doesn't happen immediately. Take the time at the beginning of the school year to build stamina through progressively increasing the amount of time students spend in small group instruction. And finally, ongoing assessment is one of the greatest assets to differentiating instructional strategies. It allows you to know what students have mastered and what they're still struggling with. It also provides information on how you can adapt grouping to best meet the needs of all learners. And finally, be sure to include students' self-reflection to assess not only content knowledge and skill, but also to assess whether the procedure needs to be adapted. In the distinguished teacher category, much responsibility is turned over to the students. A self-assessing rubric like this one will guide them in monitoring appropriate group expectations.
In a well-managed classroom, transitions are seamless with little loss of instruction time and with students assuming considerable responsibility for the smooth operation. Students should know and understand your expectations for transitions. Practice the transition routines to iron out glitches. Use nonverbals to signal the end of one activity and movement to the next. The goal for most of the non-instructional activities in the school day is little loss of instructional time. So it is with the management of materials. Put in place a system of organization. Establish clear routines and expectations for the use of materials. Give the responsibility for implementing the distribution of materials to the students, perhaps as a weekly job.
In order to guarantee a purposeful environment, procedures and routines should be in place for every activity. Once again, expectations should be clear and routines should be rehearsed. Ensure that students understand the reason for the routine and have a voice in establishing and maintaining it. It is worth the time at the beginning of the year to ensure that these are understood by all students. Harry Wong makes a clear distinction between rules and procedures in this way. If a student breaks a rule, like taking another's personal item, for example, they face consequences. However, if they fail to follow a procedure, Wong concludes they need more training in that procedure, so he provides more instruction and practice. Wong's goal is to make every procedure habitual and smooth so that time is spent on learning instead of reprimanding. Routines ensure both the teacher and the students are accountable for creating a class environment that runs smoothly and efficiently, therefore maximizing everyone's opportunities to learn. If an outsider viewed a classroom that had well-established and maintained procedures and routines, it would appear that it was running itself.